Right?
Yes, very much.
All right, all right, all right. So you ready to get into these women hot topics today?
I'm ready. Let's chat.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Whitney Houston. Well, shout out, it's been almost 9 years since Whitney Houston had passed away. She's inducted into the Hall of Fame. This was definitely agree with me. The greatest singer of her generation. Her mother and her manager accepted her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, listeners, as well, Notorious B.I.G. for hip hop. I didn't talk about that. He was inducted. So Whitney Houston and Notorious B.I.G. were inducted. I know you definitely agree with this. Do you agree with this or you disagree with this?
100% agree. And I would have to say, like, not just her generation, but many generations. I would declare her the greatest of many times, not just her time.
What was your favorite Whitney Houston song?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. Oh, shoot. Gosh, it's hard for me to think of my favorite. What's yours while I'm thinking?
Oh, but you know what, Becca, baby? I will do this. And I will always love you. I know, listeners, I can't sing. Becca, baby.
Yes, you can. You
I
can sing.
can't.
I really think you can if you like worked on it a little tiny bit. I think you'd be great.
Okay, Becca, baby, would you like to do your version of Whitney Houston? And can you do that or no?
Yeah, I can do that, but I really like the beginning of it. You know, like the soft part.
All right. Okay. Can you give us like a little sample of that or no?
Yeah. Sweet memory. That is all I'm taking with me. And I'm wishing you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you. I could go on and
I
on. I
know
love
it.
that
I was
song.
almost scared Whitney Houston was alive. I'd be like, Whitney, are you there? I'm like, oh my. I know. Can you imagine? Whitney comes on the phone. Donovan, that's my song. Don't take my song, Whitney.
She's like, can you both be quiet so I can do it?
You know.
Please.
But you know what, Becca, baby, you sounded. You know what? You were good. You were good. I was almost scared it was Whitney.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I know. Okay, but
I think I could do it. I probably could do it a little better, but you know.
I know, but you know what? I did it terrible. R.I.P. to Whitney Houston. Whitney, we love you. You had timeless
We
music.
love you, Whitney.
We love you, and I'm very sorry you went through a lot. I mean, it's unfortunate you did have a lot of struggles, Whitney. And actually, another, what do you call it? Bobby Brown had lost his son recently as well, too. I believe this past Wednesday, his son was, I believe, 28. So his son had passed away too. To let listeners know if they didn't hear, Bobby Brown's Jr. had passed away Wednesday. Whitney, we love your music. It's timeless. This is definitely an agree. Definitely agree.
Agree.
Okay, so we ready to move on?
Let's move on.
Okay, so now I don't know if listeners will know. I know Becca Baby and I know we grew up on, the group's music. You remember the R&B group Total?
Total, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I know listeners are probably thinking, okay, why are we talking about Total? Well, she's making news and headlines. The lead singer, Pam, you all remember Pam. Pam was, the lead singer. And, there was a lot of questions over the years, of her sexual preference. Not that that really mattered. But she did get married to a man eventually. But okay, in 2019, she had made allegations against her ex husband that he was physically abusive, verbally abusive, and he, what do you call, set himself up to, what do you call, prey on women, and then accused him of being in a sex cult and all that stuff. But you know what, Becca, baby, what happened? I believe she went on the morning hustle this, I think last month. Guess what she said? She said she made all that up. What are your thoughts when, because, okay, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is what are your thoughts when people lie about being physically assaulted by a man or their ex husband or their boyfriend or whatever?
I I have a couple thoughts on this. So my first thought is if you do lie on somebody about whether it's physical or sexual or mental abuse, I think that just really cowardly, and you can really ruin somebody's life. Like, I know that there is, we need to take allegations seriously, but there are some people that really make things up, and that can really ruin somebody's, path for their life and their success and their everything, their relationships, their jobs. It can ruin everything. So if that is happening to you, by all means, please tell the truth. But I think that people that make up stuff like that are just horrible, horrible human beings. Mm-hmm. But then there's also there's also things with abuse. Like when people are abused, they often deny. If they do tell the truth, sometimes they do go back on the word because they're scared or because they've been brainwashed and into thinking that the person really does love them. So there's kind of two sides to that. A lot of people that tell their story often go back on it because they just get so scared.
Now, she did apologize made an Instagram post that she did apologize, saying she's so sorry to her ex-husband, the family, the mother, the ex-wife, everybody, the people at her church. Does she get forgiveness automatically for it? And maybe some of it is true in the past, but maybe, okay, this is what I think. It probably could have happened, but she probably was embellishing about certain things. It probably maybe was verbal abuse, and then maybe who knows? Maybe he probably put a fist on her at one time, and maybe she embellished upon it because I don't know anybody in their right.
My question is why is she now coming out about it? They haven't done anything in so long, that group,
Yeah. I know,
why?
right? They
why
haven't
now?
done anything so long in that group. That's true. Total and listeners, if you don't know who the R&B group is, Total, they had 2 albums under Bad Boy. Who cannot remember Pam, Keisha, and then the other one? I forget the other one's name. She was quiet. Keisha was singing, Pam was singing. The other one was so quiet, playing the guitar sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But do you think that actually they did try, I think 12 years ago, to come out with a single with Vita from, well, that's another name we don't know. Remember Vita from Murder Inc? They tried that and it just did not work with Total. I don't know. You know what, to be honest with you, Becca, baby, I'm not going to lie and say why Total fell apart. I just think Pam was done. I just think she was done, but she's in the church. She apologized. So does she get forgiveness automatically? Let's say if you're listening to this and say you didn't know Pam at all, would you forgive her or would you question? Because a lot of people, I'll tell you the truth, when she apologized, she said, "I'm sorry," a lot of people were thinking it was scripted.
Well, I do think that a lot of people that are in the spotlight do apologize just to be politically correct. I think a lot of them don't mean their apology, but hopefully she does.
Oh, wow. That's a good point, too. You're right. A lot of people just
her publicist or her assistant or whoever might have been like, you know what, this could be really bad for your career or whatever's left of your career. You better go apologize, and they could have written it up.
Yeah.
That could be simple, but, the other side is she could have meant well. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I like what you said, whatever's left of her career, because Total hasn't been around. Well, they did tour with Bad Boy. They still do tours, but, I mean, for them to put out an album or a project, that was okay, I'll tell y'all quick story. When Escape, they had so much drama, that group. They had so much drama for a group that isn't even relevant. And they still put out new music, but you know who wasn't in the group? Candy was not in that group. She was not going back to that group at all. But they still put out new
Right.
music. It didn't work well, but they put out new music. I don't know. If Total put out another album, do you think it would do good, or do you think people would? Well, I know these young ones will be like, they don't even know who we're talking about right now.
Yeah, no, it would not do well. I mean, I think some of their past listeners probably would listen, but I don't think it would do well as far as, you know, getting known or promotion or something.
Yeah.
It's been so long, and it's,
Yeah.
you know, after you've been gone for so long, it's not very easy to make a comeback. It's been a long time since they, you know, not just put out stuff, but like we're really in the you know, the music area, because I think like I haven't really heard of them even touring since like, I don't know, maybe 2015 or 16, unless I'm wrong. But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, because I think they did come once for OVO back in 2015 or 16. Drake brought them on, but that was
oh,
it.
okay.
That was it. I mean, you're right. I haven't really even heard of Total doing anything. And in case listeners say, well, what songs did they have? What about you? What about me? What about us? What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Well, that's what she was singing when she, what do you call it, made up all these allegations. She thought, what we gonna do is correct. What we gonna do? So.
I don't mean to laugh, but I love your play on words. You know, I have to say something quick.
Sure.
You have the craziest music catalog. Like, you can just spout out a song and sing it on command. It takes me like a minute to just even think about it, even if it's a well-known song that I know.
But Becca Baby remembers that song from the Soul Food soundtrack. That was their biggest one. And then Can't You See, the Notorious B.I.G. remix. That was another big one. They had hits in the 90s. We're not dissing their
Definitely.
yeah, we're not dissing their catalog. But we're saying is
Oh, not
they
at all.
will
I
not.
actually prefer that type of music,
Yeah.
usually.
But what Becca Baby is saying, wrapping it up, she is right. They're not relevant today. They're not. I mean, they can try to come back, which they did 12 years ago, and it still didn't work. So I don't know. And I don't even know if I was Keisha and the other girl, would I even want to get back together with? Well, okay. I shouldn't even say that, because you can't really judge a person. Maybe she was going through a lot mentally too in her mind, where, you know, if I'm Keisha or the other girl, I'll say, okay, what was going on? You know, is everything okay? Because, okay, if you're a group, you're like family. Why couldn't she reach out to, you know, to one of them and say, well, then truth say she probably hasn't even really seen them in probably how many years too. So, or maybe she doesn't talk to them, because, you know, a lot of these groups, they don't talk to each other after years and years and years. Oh, who? Becca Baby? I haven't even seen her in years. Oh, you
Yeah.
don't talk to her? No, we had a nasty fallout. What happened? Would you care to tell E! News that? Oh, sure. How much money are you charging? That's how they would go. That's
Exactly.
how they start opening up.
Yeah, and it's just like that group. They can have some great hits, and they definitely did. And they, you know, put out a couple albums. But if you take that much of a break, you're just not going to have a good comeback. They're not like legacy artists. Like, let's say Whitney Houston retires, and then 10 years later she wants to do a tour, or, you know,
Mhm.
Elton John, like those big like legacy singers that can span decades. Those people, they can take breaks. They can come back whenever they want. People are going to love them and sign up and wait in line for their shows. But when you haven't like made a legacy,
Mhm.
you can't take breaks like that. I mean, I'm scared to take a week off. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth nowadays. Everything is so instant, and social media and promotions and everything happens so quickly. You can't take that much time off and then try to come back and be relevant. You know, you just can't.
Ladies, she said it, and I've said it too. And Becca Babies listen to my interviews. I tell artists all the time, coming up now is worse. You can't afford to take 1 week off. Well, you know what? I think I'm just going to retire Good luck. Good luck coming back. I mean, I know
Yeah,
people
good
will say,
luck.
oh, well, and then people would clap back at us and say, well, Donovan, Becca, baby, they've got a lot going on in their life. You know what? And that is true. Everybody's got a lot going on in their life. But let me throw it back to you, listener, that's going to disagree. You chose this. You chose this. I didn't hold you over the head and say, you know what? You have to be an artist. You have to be a musician. Well, we do force you in a sense because if you want music, like if you want to put out music, then continue to put out music. Or else people are just
Right.
going to lose interest in you. Am I right, Becca, baby, or am I wrong?
You're completely right. There's a difference between, I know a lot of people that call themselves artists, but it's more of a hobby because they don't put stuff out. They don't have a plan, for promotions, and they don't, work on their music all the time. It's like once in a while. And I really feel like you just can't do that. Nowadays it takes constant work, always putting stuff out, reaching out to people. It's just a new era. It's not the same as it used to be.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's enough about that with Total. Okay, so Pam's apology and everything. Do we agree or do we disagree?
I'm a little skeptical about that. I don't know if I disagree because I'm happy that she did. If she really made those things up, then great. I'm glad she apologized. But let's try not to do it in the first place. Let's not try to ruin somebody's life over some false accusations.
Yeah, Pam, it's very hard for me to. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna agree that you apologized and you tried, and I'm glad you apologized and set the record straight with your husband. And
Yeah.
by the way, people, in case listeners think, well, you're making this up. No, she told the what do you call the morning hustle that she made this up. And the morning hustle. Whew, you want to try the Breakfast Club and the morning hustle? Tell them that. Oh gosh, they will just have fun and run with it. Trust me.
Oh,
So,
for sure, yeah.
so I'm going to agree that she apologized. She cleared the air. But girl, I'm going to disagree because you should not be lying on anyone like that. Because, okay, and again, suppose if it was true. Okay, suppose if he did start physically abusing her next time. And then she comes out and says, you know what, I've been physically abused. Are we going to believe her next time? No. So, Pam, agree with the apology, disagree with what you did. I don't know if Becca Baby feels the same way.
I agree with her apology, and I'm going to stay neutral on the other fact
Yeah.
because I don't know if it really happened to her or not, and I would hate to,
Yeah.
I would hate to say something if she was really actually abused.
Yes. Yes. And if you were, and actually, that's a good point. If you were, I'm really sorry. I'm going to say that. I'm really sorry. If that's why I was neutral too, because I don't think she was making up everything. I just think she might have over embellished on some things. I think
Right.
that where she over embellished because somebody to really make up something, they have to be real sick in their head. I don't think she could have been telling the truth about him being verbally abusive and probably raised a fist again to her. That's it. Nothing, where she had a black eye or, where she was, had to put on the shades and walk out there and say, hey, girl. And then, oh, girl, what happened to you? He put it on you? Oh, let me come after him. I don't think it reached that is what I'm saying. So, Pam, I wish you luck. Total. Well, let's just keep playing the classics. If you really want to go back to your archives, look up what about us and Can't You See remix. No One Else. Those were their biggest hits. And we'll move on. You ready to move on?
Ready to move on.
Okay, so okay, and listeners, I'm not going to spend too much time on Monique because Becca Baby knows where I'm going with this. And Monique, I love you. I think you're a real strong, empowering woman. Boy, you're strong. You could put me in my place and you could break me in half, I feel. But I don't know if calling your husband daddy works for me or anyone, but maybe that's your cup of tea. I don't know. I disagree with you calling your husband daddy. I'm not going to go into all that because I think a lot of women would disagree with that. But the way the morning hustle woman went off on you, that I disagree with because they don't really know the stuff Monique goes through and she's been through hell and back, that woman. But Monique, why do you call your husband daddy? Would you ever call your husband daddy?
I've called a few men daddy. I don't
Oh.
want to even tell you that. And I don't have a husband, so I can't answer that.
I do, but if you ever had you okay, but would you call like let's say you had a boyfriend? Would you call him Hey Sugar Plum or Sugar Lips? Would you give him a name or Baby or Honey Bear or Pookie or no?
I'm just more of like a babe or baby kind of.
Yeah,
That's what I say. I probably shouldn't have said what I just said.
I do. No, but okay. But there are probably some ladies that do want to call their husband or their boyfriend daddy. Okay, let me tell you a little bit of.
I mean, I've done it before, but in like a sexual way, not just in a regular day to day.
Yeah, but okay. Daddy, can we go here? Or Daddy, can we go there? Or
Oh,
Daddy.
hell no. I can't do that. That's some Hugh Hefner kind of shit.
But let me tell you listeners a quick story.
So no, we're not spending a lot of time.
Or daddies that went off on you, that I disagree with because they don't really know the stuff Monique goes through and she's been through hell and back, that woman. But Monique, why do you call your husband daddy? Would you ever call your husband daddy?
I've called a few men daddy. I don't want to even tell you that. And I don't have a husband, so I can't answer that.
I do, but if you ever had you okay, but would you call like let's say you had a boyfriend? Would you call him Hey Sugar Plum or Sugar Lips? Would you give him a name or Baby or Honey Bear or Pookie or no?
I'm just more of like a babe or baby kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I probably shouldn't have said what I just said.
I do. No, but okay. But there are probably some ladies that do want to call their husband or their boyfriend daddy. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit of this.
I mean, I've done it before, but in like a sexual way, not just in a regular day to day.
Yeah, but okay. Daddy, can we go here? Or Daddy, can we go there? Or
Oh,
Daddy.
hell no. I can't do that. That's some Hugh Hefner kind of shit.
But let me tell you listeners a quick story.
So no, we're not spending a lot of time, but this might be my favorite topic we've ever talked about.
Okay, but in certain cultures, right? In the Filipino culture, for example, can we talk race here for a minute, listeners? And Becca, baby, we're just going to talk race for a minute. Some of the women do call their husbands a daddy or dad. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get this dad. I mean, maybe it's culturally that, but then throwing it back, I know with all the black listeners listening to me, Donovan Monique is a black woman. That's Filipino. Understand, you have the right to say that. Again, Monique, I'm going to disagree, but in certain cultures, if you call your husband dad or daddy, I guess maybe that's what works for them. But I know Becca baby would not be calling her man daddy every minute. Daddy.
Every minute? No way. That's just like, reserved for one thing. No, but not for like, no way would I be like, can I go here, daddy? Can I go there, daddy? Can I do this? Whatever. But do you know why she said that she called him that?
Well, she said, okay, and this is why, you know what, and she went on Tamar's show, right? Listeners who don't know Tamar Braxton, most of you should. If you're black, you definitely know who she is. Not the generalization, but she is an R&B singer, and she has Braxton family values, and she's the singer, the sister of singer Tony Braxton. So she said, I like to make him feel in control. I like to respect him. I'm pretending like I'm Monique. I like to make him feel respected. I like to, what do you call, make him feel like he's in control. He is my daddy. He raised me, that man. Oh, that sounds like a little bit too much. I don't want to give that man no power. And I'm a man. But if I'm a woman, I would never want to give that man much power over me.
I think that is crazy. Oh my god! Because like, I get it, and I think it's fine. Like, I think you can call your husband daddy in two scenarios, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think you can call him it in a sexual way if you want to sometimes, and I think you can call him it if you're referring to him as daddy in front of his children and your children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I would not be using that name to ask for anything, permission or whatever, because I don't need permission for anything.
But what if you want to make him, and she's encouraging other women to make their husband, like, be vulnerable to your husband, make him in control. And by the way, there's streets talking. Monique's in an open relationship. Hey, you know what? Everybody likes apples. Some people like apples. Some people like oranges. If an open marriage or an open relationship works for you, hey, that's fine for you. But it ain't working for me.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. If people are agreeing to that together, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not what this is about.
I know, right? But back up, baby. Would you be open? Like, would you be like a Monique to say, okay, Monique kind of said she's indirectly hinted about an open relationship. Would you be okay sharing your man with another woman or a man too?
I have nothing against anything at all, like gay marriage or gay relationships, but I wouldn't be okay with sharing my man with another man.
Or a woman. Or, yeah, I'm just saying, Monique.
I would be okay with that if we agreed on an open relationship together, but not if he was the only one doing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my thing though is, should you be calling your husband again? You're gonna say no. Do you agree with Monique calling her husband daddy?
No, not in the way she's doing it. No way.
And by the way, the woman in the morning hustle, whatever your name is, you were wrong. You know you were wrong. I get you don't agree with calling her daddy, but you really went off on her, and you better pray Monique don't come after you, because when that woman comes after you,
I feel like
me.
she's outspoken with women.
Oh, yeah. She's very outspoken, but you know when Monique comes after you, you better run. Because remember what Charlemagne the God did? And then calling her Donkey of the Day, and then she wanted to come on the show, and she